All right, before I even start the video, I just want to talk for a quick second about how much RobTop's been cooking with the demon rates lately. I don't know if he's ever had such a spree of just raiding levels that have been on raiding. When it comes to extreme demons, his consistency with raiding older ones that were just never raided is insane. Like, I saved some of them here that he raided literally within the past 2 weeks. Playing Possum, look at this level. Like, this level's cool, but it remained unrated for so long. Like 70 million ID is crazy. Same with this one, Boardwalk. This one's 75 million, and this just got rated recently. Wobbling Machine, this is relatively new, all things considered, but it's still cool that it got rated. It's top 89, and the fact that it was never rated is kind of crazy. And same with Call Me Maybe. These rates are insane. Exosphere, I remember this level getting verified, and then it just didn't get rated for like 2 years, which is crazy. And then the Red Coronation, look at that ID. 200, or is that 287 million? No, that's 28 million. That's insane. Like, these rates are crazy. That's all I have to say though. All right, hello everyone, it's me. So I'm actually in a pretty good mood right now because not that long ago, the level Gravity by Kaza got rated. If you don't know what Gravity is for any reason, it's a remake of the level Moment by LexyCat, and in many people's opinions, mine included, this is just a better version of Moment that remained unrated for 4 years until it got rated just like 2 weeks ago or something. You know what I will say though? I really hope that this does start a trend with RobTop where he goes back and rates a few extremes that have stayed unrated. So I just hope that RobTop actually sits down and looks at these old levels and decides to rate them. I'm really hoping he rates Shiranai, because the day he rates Shiranai, that will be a beautiful day. Anyways, yeah, enough talking. I'm gonna go into Gravity and give you guys some tips and tricks on how to beat it. All right, now the beginning of Gravity isn't that bad. It's really easy, actually. It's much easier than the beginning in Moment. So yeah, I don't have much to say about this first ship part. All right, and then after you hit this green orb and this black orb, you get to the drop, and the drop is really difficult at the beginning. The first part of the drop is definitely the hardest part in the level, and it's just because of how learny it is and how inconsistent it can be, especially the wave parts. The wave parts in this part are very difficult. I slowed it down a bit more just to explain a few things. One thing to keep in mind for the entire part right here is that every orb and cube click can be clicked very early, and that's really important to know. If there are orbs where you can't buffer them, for example, if it's in like a portal or something, click them as early as possible and it should still work. All right, so here at the beginning, after you buffer this first blue orb, because you actually have to hit it, you actually want to click as soon as you hit the pink pad, like not too much, because if you click too much, you'll die. What I found to be more consistent is just clicking at the beginning of the pink pad, because that way you don't have to do like a weird awkward click in the middle and then transition into the wave, because normally you would just do one like that and then transition into the wave kind of awkwardly, because you can't really hit the pink pad and then just go into the wave portal. So yeah, you want to do like either a click in the middle right here between the straight fly or a click on the pink pad at the beginning. And then this wave is only 2 clicks. There's a weird correction portal down here, but it isn't really that bad. This first specific wave isn't hard at all. It's just 2 clicks. This wave right here can be pretty difficult, but it's also still not bad. You just want to hold into it so that you can actually hit the gravity portals and then just do bum like that. I would recommend not doing a full-on straight fly right here at the ship section. I just do 1 click like that, and then you can just position yourself for this wave like that. So right here, a funny skip I found recently is that you can actually just hit the first jump right here on the 2x speed portal a bit late, and then hit this blue orb as early as possible, and then you can actually skip every click here if you want, like this. If you really wanted to, you can just hit all 3 orbs like this. You kind of want to just like do a small hold after each orb, but you don't want to do anything too crazy. Another skip you can do is if you click twice really fast on the second blue orb, you can skip the third blue orb. You can skip this part in a variety of ways, including this one right here where you just hold a little bit and then skip all 3 orbs. But that timing's very difficult to pull off. If you can pull it off though, it's probably very easy to do. If you buffer both the black orb and the blue orb right here, you can actually just hold the entire way through here and then just click once as the UFO. Right here, the most consistent thing to do with the ship is hit the pink orb and then just hit the slope up here, and then just click once you hit this pink size portal. And then once you pass this wave right here, you can just buffer this black orb. It looks like it's a timing, but don't really hit it as a timing. You'll mess it up a lot if you do. And then once you pass that 1 wave click right there, you get to the ship, which is an iconic part in every iteration of Moment. One thing I might recommend though is specifically for this wave right here, it's not too difficult, but It's still annoying from 0 if you die here a lot. I would recommend just going with a black wave trail, or if you use solid wave trail, use anything but white or green, whatever colors in the background. I feel like that just makes it more consistent, but if you don't like using those, then you don't have to. But yeah, this part's pretty easy to learn. If anything, this part's the easiest part in the level to learn. This wave is only one click. You just have to click once and hold through it. Once you reach this final part of the ship right here, you can just hold after every input, and it's just super consistent, so I'd recommend just doing that. All right, and after that green orb, you are at the post drop. So if you noticed right there, this spike right here isn't real, so don't really stress over the timing right here, because this spike right here is just not real. This ending is a very good stress test because it's pretty easy. Like, this entire part in general is very, very easy, but it's also really easy to mess up from 0, especially if you don't practice it enough. So definitely practice this part a lot. Even if you do it like once every 20 attempts, I'd recommend just getting it down so that you do it once every like 5 or 10 attempts. It's very important to be consistent with this part, or else you will die here a lot. Right here, this spike's also fake, so don't worry about that spike. This part right here, these 2 clicks, you're supposed to like do this where you do 2 really fast clicks as buffers, but most people can't actually click that fast and end up having to do a double input or something. So one way I found to counteract that is to just hit the blue orb late like this. It makes it really, really consistent in my opinion, and you can just hold right after too to do the jump on the bottom. You just have to time this blue orb, which isn't that bad of a timing. But yeah, after that, this post drop becomes pretty straightforward. You just have to learn it a bit. Also, that spike right there is fake, but that's like the most obvious fake spike ever. Right here on the ship part, you just have to go up into the structure like this, because if you try to actually do the straight fly, you just die. This wave right here might get you a lot, so just make sure to practice it a bit. This wave is just pretty difficult in general. It seems easy because I'm at slow, but trust me, it's not really. These 2 blue orbs right here, you can just keep holding after the final wave click and then just buffer the first blue orb, and then just buffer the second one if you want. But it's way more consistent to just let go when you enter the cube portal and then just time them a bit. It's just more consistent because if you miss the second buffer, then you just die and it sucks. For this spider click, just hold the black orb. It doesn't need to be as complicated as it looks, and I know some people who just click for that spider click. Just don't do that. It makes it very inconsistent. All right, here's the final wave. Very hard, very chokeable, and honestly, the best advice I have is just to stay in the middle of the structures. Try not to scrape the structures at all because of the spikes on the walls. This wave is actually very hard, and it's at the very end of the level. And I think I attribute the difficulty of this wave to it flashing black, which I don't mind in this context, but normally it's not that good of a gameplay idea. And then right here, you actually want to jump off this structure instead of falling down so that you actually do this. But yeah, everything from here on out's pretty easy to manage. It's not really hard. It's just pretty linear. This ship part right here is actually very tough if you don't practice it, obviously, but it's very chokeable, so just make sure you're getting used to the swoops in this part. The straight flies aren't the thing that's going to kill you, it's the swoops. All right, and then after the straight fly, you get to a dual ship where you basically just want to focus on the bottom ship like this, and then just straight fly, and then you just finish a straight fly like this, and then after this final straight fly, you beat the level. Okay, that was Gravity. I'm not going to really share my full opinion on the level just yet. I'm going to share it later on at the end of the video, but for now I'm just going to tell you if I recommend the level or not, and I do recommend the level. I actually recommend it over Moment. If you really want to just learn a level or a new hardest, I just totally recommend Gravity for you. It's really fun. It's pretty good to sit down from 0 and play despite the beginning being one of the harder parts, and it's just overall an enjoyable experience for, in my opinion, most players. I feel like most players, even if you don't like click sync or learning levels, you'll find a pretty good time with this level, so you know, I just definitely recommend this level. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Hi, I'm here to play Gravity for a bit.
Hello, Aerodynosaur. Oh.
I died at the post drop around 40 times.
the RNG.
What? I beat it the attempt I joined call. What?
Bro,
What the fuck?
Nice.
Dude, that's actually so insane.
All right, that was Gravity. In terms of being a remake, Gravity does a really good job at just being better than Moment. I had a lot of problems with Moment when I was beating it, and I still had a pretty fine experience with Moment, but it was really nothing too special. Honestly, if I were to go back and rate Moment, I'd give it like a 6 or a 5 out of 10. It was just a pretty weird experience. The level was unbalanced, and there were a lot of just choke point clicks and choke point parts that weren't really up to par. That being said, Gravity's really good. There are parts I would consider to be choke points in this level, but they're way more manageable than the ones in Moment, and the level feels a lot less like a chore to sit down from zero and play, unlike Moment, which just feels like a chore the entire time you're playing it from zero. But no, Gravity is like the golden standard for remakes. It's better in almost every single way, including even the decoration and effects. It just outshines Moment in mostly every way that it can. Anyways, in terms of gameplay enjoyment, I gave Gravity a 10 out of 10, a gold star. I rarely give levels a 10 out of 10. I think out of the 120 extremes I've beaten, I've only given 6 a 10 out of 10, which is a pretty low number actually. But like I was saying before, the gameplay feels really good to play from zero, which should be a standard for your gameplay in your level. If your level's fun to play in runs but not fun to play from zero, that's going to bring down enjoyment a lot, especially if you're given false pretenses about the level while you're going for it. So having a fun experience from zero is really good with this level. The pre-drop never felt like a chore to go through because the first ship is really easy, and the first part of the drop, once you learn it, gets unbelievably consistent and you rarely ever die there. And then everything from that to the end, it's just really consistent and really smooth to play. You might die at the end a lot, but it never really feels like it's the level's fault that you died. It always feels like a user error, and I like that. I also like that the level isn't perfectly balanced. There are clearly harder parts in this level, like I said, the first part of the drop at the beginning, but that makes a better level because if a level's too consistent, that means all of your deaths are random. It's nice that all my deaths happened at the beginning, so it's just nice that the level isn't perfectly balanced, yet still fun to play from zero, and that's something I really admire about this level. Anyways, I'm gonna stop glazing the level and I'm gonna just say a few things I didn't like. I didn't like the 2 really fast clicks at the post drop that I was talking about earlier. I know that I said you can skip them, but they still get pretty annoying. And a pretty annoying part, though it's not really that bad because once you learn it, it gets consistent, was just learning the entire first part of the drop, like the part from like 14% or whatever. That part is just really difficult to learn and some of the inputs are awkward, but like I said, you get really consistent with it. It's just that a lot of it feels really awkward. Anyways, in terms of the decoration of Gravity, I actually gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Almost a perfect score, but I'll tell you why it's not a perfect score. I liked the pre-drop and the first part of the drop. I really enjoyed those darker parts. I thought they filled in the empty space really well despite how minimalistic the level is. And like I always say, I really like modern levels. Modern levels, if you want me to enjoy decoration, are just an easy way to get me to enjoy it. I just like the simplistic and minimalistic feel of them, which is honestly just a personal thing. But the reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is because the white part. I don't like the white part that much. It's still a objectively good looking part, but I just didn't like it. I would like if the whole level was dark, but I get since it's a sequel to Moment, it has to adopt the drop ship section, which makes sense, but I just think it brought down my enjoyment of the decoration a little bit. The post drop looks a lot better in this level though compared to Moment. It feels a lot less empty. Anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say about Gravity. I'm really happy that RobTop decided to rate this, and I hope he keeps going on a very large streak with his ratings because he's been doing really good with them lately. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and also comment on the video anything you have to say about the video itself or Gravity. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. I'm actually trying to reach 2,000 subscribers, so hopefully I can get there soon. Anyways, that's all I have to say. If you're a subscriber, feel free to join my membership. It's only 99 cents and you get early access to my videos, and you get a shout out at the end of the videos of these outro segments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a nice day.